Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody out there in the interweb. I'm Colonel Russ Davis, the Detachment Commander of ROTC Detachment 028. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for this question and answer session for all of the inbound freshmen that want to join the Air Force ROTC program, as well as their family members that have questions about the program, the university, or serving in the U.S. Air Force. I'm joined today by our 0-week commander, Cadet Micah Oliver, and I have my entire cadet cadre team here, as well as the rest of the 0-week leadership team. So they're not on camera, but they're in the seats to answer any of the tough questions. Cadet Oliver, over to you.
Yes, sir. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Micah Oliver. I'm the 2025 0-week commander, so I'll be here to answer any questions you guys have specifically pertaining to being a cadet at Detachment 028, being a student at Embry-Riddle, and living in Prescott, Arizona.
What do we expect from new cadets during 0 week? We know that's an interesting question. Expectations are pretty low, frankly, because this is a whole new change in life, right? You're showing up to college as a freshman, some leaving home for the first time, most frankly. And so what we really hope is that you show up and that you fully embrace this jump start in your university experience, as well as this jump start in your Air Force ROTC time. It's going to be a great opportunity to get to know some folks within the detachment, within the cadet wing, as well as learn a little bit more about what it's like to be a cadet. Now, we have a fairly robust schedule. I think it was sent out yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, take a look. For those students that are going to be coming out, this isn't designed to be basic training. You don't expect that when you show up there'll be people hollering. That's not how we do it here. It's going to be very, I'd say, comfortable as it can be based on the circumstances. Because for the parents on the net, I've been kind of where you are. My kids are both grown now. My son went off to college. He joined Air Force ROTC, and they didn't do something like this, right? They didn't do a 0 week to where the cadets in his detachment had an opportunity to learn about one another early. We just kind of showed up at the school right when the school was getting ready to start. So I kind of know what's a little bit of how you feel about it. It's kind of nerve-wracking, especially if you happen to be sending your first or last child off to college, or only for that matter. But rest assured for the parents that this event is designed to give them a jump start, a leg up, if you will, in their university experience, as well as in the Air Force ROTC experience. So the answer to what we expect from new cadets during 0 week is to show up ready to engage, ready to learn something, and just be present for it. Meet some new people, make some new friends, and learn as much as you can in that 3-day period. Because after that, of course, is the university orientation days, and then classes start on Monday. And one thing that every cadet within the cadet wing knows cold is what our number one priority is. What's our number one priority?
Academics, sir.
Academics, that's right. So you're coming here to earn your education. And if you go in Air Force ROTC and you do well and you commit, you can also earn an opportunity to commission into the world's greatest Air Force. But to do that, you've got to be an excellent student. Academics drive so many of the opportunities to present themselves both within the university and within Air Force ROTC and just within life. So come here prepared to learn and to study and get good value for the fairly expensive education that you're going to get here at Embry-Riddle. Over to you.
So on academics, we get a frequent question of what the balance is between academics and ROTC. We have a lot of engineers here at the detachment. Embry-Riddle is a very STEM-heavy school, along with the pilots. And I'm an aerospace engineering major. I'm going into my super senior, what we call an AS 800 year. So I've been in the program for a significant amount of time. Academics, like the colonel said, is our number one priority. At the end of the day, there are requirements to commission into the Air Force, and the biggest one is academic. So we have a saying here, student first, cadet always, and that's saying that your priority should always be being a student, and you should never let ROTC overrule your life to the point where it's affecting your grades. And many cadets here successfully manage it. There are a wealth of mentorship opportunities available from upperclassmen engineers. So if you're coming in with a degree, specifically a difficult STEM degree, then you will have plenty of upperclassmen to talk to that can help you through that progress.
One of the questions that are usually presented is, what do I believe is the purpose of 0 week? I kind of alluded to that already. It's to get you spun up a little faster than most. It's also designed to introduce you to some of the ideas associated with military service. We teach you how to march. We'll teach you a little bit about the uniform. We'll teach you about what we call the chain of command. You know, who works for whom within the cadet wing or even within the Air Force. It gives us, as a cadre, and that's what the active duty members here are called, an opportunity to assess you in different ways. So one of the big assessments is the Air Force Officers Qualifying Test. And I know you received a pamphlet about that this week. I encourage you to take a look at it, be prepared to take that test, and do your very best. It's not a one and done. You have an opportunity to take the test again. We do have a requirement for you to take the test before the end of your fall semester within our organization at the national level. The other big test that you're going to take, which is a non-counter, but it's really a diagnostic, is the physical fitness assessment. And you'll do that on the last day, I believe. Is that check?
Yes, sir.
On the Wednesday morning. And that's just it gives you an idea of your fitness. It gives us an idea of your fitness. And do your best, recognizing that the elevation here is a little higher. We're at about 5,500 feet, give or take a few. And that definitely can affect performance. And that's why this is a non-counter. This is a diagnostic just to give you a sense for where your fitness is and us an idea of where you're starting so that we can see your growth as you work your way through the program. So really the purpose of Zero Week is to introduce you to Air Force ROTC, to the leadership within the cadet wing, within the cadre, to do some of your paperwork. We have a fairly intensive paperwork requirement, as all bureaucracies do. And you received links to that already and some explanations as to what that looks like. So this is a chance to knock out all that paperwork early so you don't have to worry about it later. And then also to have some fun. There's some fun events built into there. We have a leadership reaction course where you go out into the woods, and we have a nice obstacle course looking area, not fully an obstacle course. You're given challenges as a team to solve under time pressures, and that's really the only pressure there is time. But it's a chance to kind of get to know one another and then build some confidence in that area. So we call it a confidence course in other areas. So that's really the purpose of Zero Week, is to kind of make sure you hit the ground running. So you're well postured for success both in the university and within Air Force ROTC.
So we got a question about hair requirements. So specifically answering your question, for hair above headgear, whenever someone is wearing the patrol cap or the ball cap, all the hair has to be tucked in. You can't have your hair hanging out from under the ball cap. But specifically on hair requirements for males, it's got to be 2 inches in bulk, less than 2 inches in bulk. So if you stuck a ruler in, it couldn't go up to 2 inches. It's got to be off your ears, and then it's got to have a tapered appearance all the way down. So no mullets, no mohawks. You can't have any etchings.
And on the side.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be tapered up.
Thank you, sir. So tapered all the way around. Nice, clean, presentable, professional look. It's usually pretty obvious what's professional looking, what's not. You're not allowed to have any etchings. You are allowed to have one singular, very small band, but that's uncommon. You're just not allowed to have designs shaved into your head. And then your hair also has to be a natural hair color, and it has to be one solid hair color for men. So no dyed, no frosted tips.
So I'm going to turn this over to Staff Sergeant Guerrero, who is our non-commissioned officer in charge. She's going to speak to the female hair requirements as well, because we have about 30% of our cadets as females, and it's important for those standards as well. So come on out here, Sergeant Guerrero.
I am Staff Sergeant Guerrero. I am one of the NCOs here, part of the cadre team. For the female requirements for hair, it will have to be tied back, either in a bun, for example, or it has to be in a braid. The braid has to stop, or it cannot go past your shoulder blades, which is every person will be about right here. It will be tied back whether you're in your det polo or in your uniform. It's going to be across the board. You can have bangs. They cannot be the same way. Like, it has to stop above your eyebrows. It cannot be hanging down. You cannot have little loose strands coming down. Hair color will be natural hair color. It cannot be dyed. You can have short haircut. It cannot be past your collar on your OCPs. I believe that's
3 inches of bulk. Is that
3 inches in bulk? Yes, sir. It has to be 3 inches in bulk. And for that one, as far as like the bun, like I said, 3 inches in bulk is from the scalp this way and this way. It has to be within 3 inches.
What color for like fasteners, bobby pins?
Fasteners will have to match your hair color. If you have blonde hair, they will match your blonde hair. If you have darker hair, they will match darker hair. You cannot have blue, green, pink, any other kind of hair color or hair tie in your hair. You can wear the clips, you can wear bobby pins, but they have to all be matching and they cannot be standing out in any way, shape, or form.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're coming here for Zero Week, I encourage you to maybe get your haircut before you arrive. That's a great first impression, and it's one less thing you have to do when you get to the university. And if you do what was just described, that'll work just fine. So we'll expect our cadets to be in military regulations anytime they're wearing their detachment polo, which is a representation of our military uniform for freshmen. So.
All right, so RTC, we have 3 PMT or professional military training events per week, as well as 4 underclassmen, 2 Air Force classes. So we have 2 PT or physical training sessions per week. Those are an hour in the morning from 06:15 to 07:15 on Monday and Wednesday mornings. That's a great opportunity to do some group PT with your flight. It is required, the first two. There is a third optional PT session called Fit to Fight on Fridays, but that is mandatory for people who are unsatisfactory on the physical fitness assessment. And then Lead Lab or Leadership Laboratory is a 2-hour exercise every Wednesday from, we sticking with 1500 to 1700 Wednesday afternoons. And then that's when we'll be getting into, during the school year, all sorts of things, briefs, more leadership reaction courses, group leadership projects. And that's really where you start learning leadership opportunities.
Great. So I'm like to introduce our Come Out of Cadets with a question here. So this is Major Josh Acosta. So I'm going to ask him a question. What long-term habits should our inbound freshmen start building now to be successful in Air Force ROTC?
That's a great question. So I'm Major Acosta. So I just got back from field training, and that was an eye-opening experience. That's like you go to Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama, and it's really a test of your leadership abilities, but it's the core components. You could really tell those cadets that had the discipline, they had prepared, and then they do well whenever they're put to the test. So I'd say those are mainly the two things, and it'll bleed over to every area of your life. If you have the discipline to organize task, put your priorities straight, and then you put good effort behind it, you'll be able to accomplish your goals, whether it's academics, whether it's improving your fitness, and then overall becoming a good officer in the Air Force, which is our goal once you leave this program.
So somebody's coming out here to be an aeronautical science major, and they're asking if you can fly and also be a part of ROTC. And the answer is absolutely. We have a lot of cadets that are doing both. But the second part of your question there is what you've heard. Many cadets start as an aeronautical science major and they change their majors because of demands. So I would offer that that's not the main reason they change their majors. So those that are flying with Embry-Riddle typically want to fly for the U.S. Air Force. That's their goal. That's why they're flying. And what they discover after their freshman year, typically, or sometimes the middle of the freshman year, is that if they work hard, they get good grades, they do well on the physical fitness requirements, and they do well on the Air Force Officers Qualifying Test, the Air Force will pay them to fly in about 3 years, instead of them paying an additional, $20,000 to $30,000 per year to fly here at the university. So they focus their time, energy, and efforts towards that long-term goal that allow them to fly F-22, C-17s, the venerable KC-135, without having to pay for those flight hours, and of course the F-16, right? So I'd be remiss not to mention that airplane. So that really, I think, goes into the calculation as to why some cadets choose to change their major to aeronautics, which is still flight related, or sometimes change it completely. There is an additional demand on the aeronautical studies, aeronautical science major. That demand is in that they have to fly during different block times. We generally deconflict both our Air Force ROTC class as well as our lead lab with the block times. We work with the College of Aviation to do that, but sometimes that means you're flying, evenings, weekends, early morning, and it is an additional demand. So not something you can't do. Certainly is an additional challenge for those that do it. Some do it really well, some struggle, and it's just a decision that you have to make. Are you fully committed to earning an Air Force pilot slot, which this last year we had 18 cadets apply for the pilot positions within the U.S. Air Force, and 18 cadets were selected for pilot training. We had a 100% selection rate. So, and we typically do extremely well here at this detachment along those lines. So, but it's performance-based. And so you've got to manage your time and make sure that you're putting your time where you're going to get the greatest return on investment. And if you can manage both flying, academics, and Air Force ROTC, and then, being a college student, that's great. Some can't. Some decide to focus their energies a bit more. That's why you see them changing their majors. As far as flight time itself, the amount of time the Air Force really looks at for those pilot boards is about 41 hours. If you get 41 hours of flight time that you've logged, that's the maximum benefit you're going to receive for the rated selection board, which is the pilot selection board that happens in your junior year. So anything over that is gravy. The fact that you have a private pilot certificate honestly doesn't help, doesn't hurt. You're certainly going to be a better pilot if and when you get to pilot training, but it's not considered for those that are competing for pilot slots. So, but that 41-hour threshold is the greatest return on investment. Any flight time you get helps, increase your probability of success, but 41's the max. So did I miss anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
All right. Hello for Yavapai students. What are the big differences? And do we know if you can carpool? So I guess that means we have a Yavapai College student on the net. Is that right? That's
Yes, sir.
great. Well, hey, looking forward to meeting you. So we have one right now. So that's Cadet Adrian Diaz, and he was the first. Yavapai College and us just established this crosstown agreement last year. Glad that you're going to be joining the program. Reach out to Cadet Diaz on the carpool question. Cadet Diaz is a nursing student, so his schedule will probably be very different than yours. But if you get more than one, I don't know how many we have right now. I've heard different numbers. I think we have one or two, maybe more. Then carpooling is great. So you can definitely reduce your requirements with that opportunity. So that's it. Everything else is the same. You got to come to class. You got to go to Lead Lab. You got to go to physical fitness training. The summer times, you need to be prepared to go to field training or other opportunities. Cadet Diaz went to field training this summer. After that, he went to a special warfare orientation event for an extra 5 days, working with some of our special warfare officers. And he loved it. I saw him out in Alabama, and he was having a great time. So you're a cadet. Doesn't matter to me whether you go to Yavapai College, Embry-Riddle Worldwide. We treat you all the same. The expectation standards are the same for all of you. So just make sure you find a way to get here. That can be a challenge for sure. So.
All right, I'm going to rapid fire 2 pilot questions right now. The first question we got is, what degree is recommended to become a pilot? The answer to that is a bachelor's. It is not considered in part of your pilot ranking. What matters to the Air Force most is that you graduate from college. So we have engineers, pilot or aeronautical science majors become pilots.
Mhm.
As long as you have a bachelor's, as far as I know in the Air Force Officer Classification Directory, all degrees are considered equivalent. So
That's right.
no degree gives you a hand up on the other when competing for a pilot slot. What does matter is your grade point average. So if you are heavily set on being a pilot, you might consider what your grade point average is going to be coming out of college when you're thinking about what major you want to declare going into college. And then can you get a pilot slot without flying beforehand? Absolutely. But flight hours, as Colonel Davis said, up to 40 do help on your, what's it called?
The
PICSM?
PICSM,
PICSM.
Pilot Candidate Scoring Module Score. So that's basically a score that the Air Force uses to determine the probability of success of you making it through our very rigorous 1-year-long undergraduate pilot training course once you become an officer. So the higher the score, the higher the probability you'll make it through. They've used 40 years of data to verify that those numbers are somewhat reflective. So for the flying piece, one of the opportunities here at Detachment 028 is to fly with the Civil Air Patrol. We've established a partnership with Civil Air Patrol about 18 months ago. And what that means for our cadets is that if you want to fly, try it out, see if you like it. See if you don't like it, we can set you up with the Civil Air Patrol, and they will fly you up to 4 flights, 4.8 hours. You can log the time, actually go towards your PICSM score, and so you'll get those 4.8 hours for free. There's no cost. And it's a syllabus-based flight event, so you do rigorous flight training, but it's fun. It's not like you're going to do too terribly much. They won't let you land the airplane. You have to be 1,000 feet AGL before they'll let you take control of it. But you'll still get an opportunity to experience the flight environment. And I encourage all of our cadets to do that, even those that haven't decided what they want to do for a living. Some people get in airplanes, they fly it, they think it's the best thing ever, and they want to do it for life. Some get into it and they do it once and they're like, yeah, I'm good. I'll be in the back of a commercial airliner from here on out. So it's important to experience that environment and that situation before you fully commit to a lifestyle that you're going to follow. Some of our majors, some of our degrees are requisite to do certain jobs. So like Cadet Oliver here, he's getting a degree in engineering, and he was just recently matched to become an Air Force civil engineering officer because you're required to have an engineering degree to be a civil engineering officer. So, but for pilot, nope, you can be anything. You can be a management major like me and go fly, $200 million jets when you're 23 years old. So they teach you, and it's no factor. But the GPA is certainly a big factor.
So Honor Corps, the Honor Corps hours are on the Detachment 028 website that's connected to Embry-Riddle. But we have Cadet Emaleo in here who is part of Honor Corps, and she would love to speak to you all about it.
Cadet Leon is she's been on the Honor Corps for quite a few years there. She's also part of the 0 Week leadership team. So you'll get to meet her in person here in about 4 weeks.
Hi everyone, I'm Cadet Captain Nyon. I've been a part of Honor Corps for 6 semesters now. I have been involved with the Saber drill team, the rifle drill team, and the color guard. Those are the 3 options that we have available. Our core practices are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So right around the time where sports happen, and I know there's classes that overlap at that same time. So if you're interested in joining Honor Corps, I'd highly recommend that you keep those spaces available and you make sure you don't schedule any labs or stuff like that. There's a minimum requirement for the hours that you must attend, but remember that academics are first. And if you do have a conflict with your class schedule to Honor Corps practices, we can certainly make accommodations to help you out, make hours as well as take care of your schoolwork. That's all for me. Looking forward to see you guys.
Yeah, let me just add too that our Honor Corps team is amazing. They're one of the largest recognized student organizations on campus. They're well funded, well equipped. They're national level winners every year. They get a trip out to Colorado Springs to the U.S. Air Force Academy for the National Invitational Drill Meet competition, and they come home every year with lots of trophies and individual accolades. So they did that this last year as well. So it's an amazing team. They do a lot of events off campus and on campus representing Detachment 028, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, as well as the U.S. Air Force and Space Force, and they represent us extremely well. They're well trained. Our rifle drill team, I mean, they do the normal throwing rifle stuff around. Our Saber team does formal events typically. We no longer have a formal Saber team, but they've been incorporated into the rifle drill team so that we can still do those types of events. So if you're interested in it, it is a fairly significant time commitment, but there's a great return on investment. The Honor Corps team is tight knit. They're like a fraternity slash sorority in that they take great care of each other. They provide mutual support, and then they do some amazing things off campus and on campus. So it's an organization that I deeply respect and support any way I can. So we have other recognized student organizations too. You want to talk about those?
Yes, sir. So we have several recognized student organizations, which are essentially attaches to the Embry-Riddle AFROTC program. We have I-5, which is our Space Force Auxiliary. I'm not actually entirely sure what I-5 gets up to.
Would you like to engage on I-5?
Major Costa
Major
does.
Costa? All right. He's our I-5, our former I-5 faculty advisor. So.
Yes, so it could be both cadets and students on campus that join I-5, but essentially it's a club that the Space Force sponsors that's really looking at informing them on information that hasn't really been available to the public until recent years, because the Space Force is rapidly developing new capabilities and new technology. So they're really focused on, hey, let's wrap our head around the space domain. So that's essentially what I-5 is. It's more educational in nature, but they are really shifting towards outreach and maybe meeting with some local high schools, middle schools to get children informed to teach and do that outreach into the community. So it's a good organization. It is starting brand new from the national level, and our detachment has kind of been on the forefront, leading the way as one of the largest I-5 organizations in the nation.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Major Costa. Also part of Detachment 028 is the Stephen M. Sherp chapter of Silver Wings. Silver Wings is a professional volunteer leadership-oriented organization which aims to partner with civilians. So Silver Wings aims to be roughly 50-50 cadet civilian. So it's a great way to get civilians involved with an Air Force auxiliary. And then they do volunteer work. It's leadership opportunities. They have national conferences as well. And then we're also working on getting our Special Warfare Club registered as an affiliate organization of the detachment. The Special Warfare Club is for those interested in going to the special warfare career fields, such as STO, CRO, EOD, which you'll learn what all those mean in greater depth.
It's a lot of acronyms.
It's a lot of acronyms.
Yeah.
Get used to that. But at 0 Week, all of these organizations will have a table at the end of the week at the barbecue, which we all heavily encourage y'all and your parents to attend. And then you guys will get to talk to these cadet leaders within the detachment yourselves and find out about their clubs.
The last club is the Eagle Club.
Yes, sir.
And I'll speak to that. So the Eagle Club is our cadet wing club. It consists only of cadets. And for those that are going to be coming out here for 0 Week, I think the Eagle Club has a plan to sell you or your folks some of the swag, some of the things that they have that say Detachment 028 and Embry-Riddle. I think there's some dues associated with it. And what they really function as is the fundraising arm for the cadet wing. They have a couple big fundraisers each year that translate into real significant material and experiential investments that they can make. So, for example, during the fall semester, they go down to Phoenix and they help out with the NASCAR races. And that generates a lot of funds for the Eagle Club, which then comes back to the cadet wing to pay for things like the combat dining in, the dining out, any of the the materials they need for lead lab, lots of different things that they spend the money on. And you're just by the nature of you joining Air Force ROTC, you are a part of the Eagle Club recognized student organization. So be prepared to join that club. And we do make sure that they do everything as non-ROTC affiliated students, because we cannot fundraise from a military DoD perspective, but they certainly can from a student perspective with the university. And that's their principal role. They have a president and an entire committee that determines how they're going to manage their resources, as well as how they're going to take care of the cadet wing. So it's a great organization. Really, really proud of them. So AFOQT. All right. So we have a question. What
I
topics?
can answer multiple questions now.
Great.
So I'll answer AFOQT first and then parents. So AFOQT, it's a standardized test. I can't tell you the specifics about it because it is controlled testing material, but essentially there's a math section, so the quantitative section, there's a verbal section, so think logical reasoning, knowing the definitions of certain words. So that's overall, but then there's also specific sections related to Air Force topics, like a pilot section, a air battle manager section, combat systems officer section. And what this is doing, it's seeing if you're knowledgeable in these certain areas for selection in certain jobs. So just do your best on all the sections every time you take the AFOQT. The Air Force does not endorse any specific studying source. So that is based off of you. Of course, there's the standard, companies that make testing prep books, but the Air Force doesn't. I can't give you any recommendation of this is the best because the Air Force does not endorse any of them. So I'm not going to because that's illegal.
That's good. That's good.
But you can take this test multiple times. You can take it 2 times, third time with a waiver if you show that you have done considerable effort into raising your score in a specific area. So that's essentially the AFOQT. It's a standardized test, kind of like the SAT for those verbal and quantitative sections. And then there are specific Air Force sections, and just do your best in all of them. It is super scored. So what that means is it takes the highest score from each component, and that is your final score. So say the first time you take it, you do really well on the quantitative, not too hot on the verbal. You take it again, you crush the verbal, and you don't beat your quantitative score. It takes the highest score from both attempts. So that's super scored. Parents, we welcome parents. So there's a specific calendar for parents, and we have events lined up for them. So it'll be good. It'll be informative. Hopefully we're pretty funny. I think we're funny, cadre. So it should be entertaining as well. And then we also have a barbecue. So there's events on Monday. It's kind of light on Tuesday, but you can sit in on some events that the cadets are going to lead. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a sports day family barbecue, and you're definitely welcome to come and join in for that. And it should be a good time to kind of informally meet and greet with the cadre, their future instructors, professors. 18 years old, that's pretty important. So if you are under the age of 18, you need to arrive with your parents because there's certain documents, like you'll have to bring your social security card, birth certificate, and they need to sign off that you're able to join the military, essentially.
But you're not joining the military when you arrive.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear on that one.
Yeah.
It's just a requirement to make sure that you can join the program. If you do well in the program and you earn an enrollment allocation after your sophomore year, or right kind of towards the end of your sophomore year, then you will contract. And I can bring Staff Sergeant Oliveri up to speak to some of that. Yes. Come on up here, Sergeant Oliveri. Yeah, he can speak to the documentation required for 0 week, as well as kind of why we do what we do. So over to you, Sergeant Oliveri.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Staff Sergeant Anthony Oliveri. Big point to note is that Social Security card, birth certificate have to be original copies, not like any scanned in, anything like that. Has to be the originals. You can also bring your passport, will suffice as well. Immunizations are required. Within 30 days from your PCM, get a sports physical. If I'm not mistaken, they can receive one on campus at the Wellness Center as a last chance backup. So don't rely on that. Get one from your regular PCM first. But life happens sometimes. So the wellness center is there for you.
Yeah.
PCM.
So
Primary care manager is a PCM. Sorry, that's another one of those Air Force acronyms and
Yeah.
abbreviations.
all right.
Yes, the sports physical to bring to 0 week is attached to the email. It's in the Dead 0 to 8 welcome packet zip folder. The only difference between that and you can Google AFROTC Form 28 sports physical and it will pull up a PDF. The only difference between that one that I've sent out and the one online is I've put in detachment 028 location Prescott, Arizona. But yes, that is the sports physical that you need to bring.
Come on over, Sergeant Guerrero. You can answer this next one. Next question is in relation to birth certificate. Does it need to be the full certificate or will a birth certificate card meet the requirements?
It has to be the full birth certificate. We cannot take anything photocopied. We cannot take the cards. We cannot take anything that is scanned in. It has to be a physical copy that you show one of the NCOs when you arrive here. Other than that, we cannot activate you as a cadet without that documentation. And that goes for like same thing with passport. We need to see actual passport. We need to see actual birth certificate and actual social security card. So please show up with all three of those, or if you don't have passport, the other two work just fine, but make sure you show up with all three of them. We cannot take any scanned photocopies, cards, nothing, original documents.
Yeah, so you've got about 4 weeks. If you don't have an actual birth certificate or social security card, you've got time to request. Typically takes 2 to 3 weeks when you put in the request. So I recommend you do that. Do it now if you don't have one. So hey, on that note, if you don't come with a current sports physical and we're not able to get you in to see the health and wellness clinic, which is touchy at times because they're not actually full operational during our 0 week, but we have an arrangement to have a few cadets be seen. You won't participate in the fun run. You won't participate in the physical fitness assessment or sports day, which are all pretty important events for you and pretty fun, frankly. So please get your sports physical done within 30 days of arriving at 0 week. So that counter is pretty much started at this point. So
Sure.
all right.
That opens up on July 26th, if I'm remembering correctly. And all this is in the emails that you have all been receiving if you're receiving this link. So please come with a sports physical. The Wellness Center can accommodate an extremely limited number of cadets. It is a last resort. So please go to your doctor starting on, I believe, July 26th, but double check my email and come with a sports physical.
The next question I want to engage on is can you speak to non-scholarship holders and commissioning as to how much will be paid toward Embry-Riddle tuition? So what you're awarded by the financial aid offices between you and the university. They have all types of different scholarships based on merit. What you can earn from Air Force ROTC is equally important based on merit. So for those that are coming in with the high school scholarship, which is going to be very few of you, maybe just 1 or 2 at most, because it's so competitive to get that. It's tougher to get an Air Force high school scholarship than it is to get an appointment to the Air Force Academy. So just kind of keep that in mind. But if you get that, then of course your tuition and fees will be paid for upwards of 5 years. We just learned yesterday that the Air Force's in-college scholarship program is coming back. We, as an institution, made a decision to delay that for the last 2 years. And we've decided now recently, as of yesterday, that there's enough resources available to be able to offer that scholarship. And that scholarship is being focused on our AS200s, our sophomores. So those folks that came in last year as freshmen, that stuck it out in the program, that did well academically, that did well in their physical fitness assessment, and also they're DOMER qualified. I think that's also a consideration, and that's the medical qualifications, and we can speak to that in a bit. But they're going to be competing at the national level for those in-college scholarships. We don't know what the amount's going to be yet. They haven't told us, but there'll be a minimum of, I would say, $18,000 a year. That's typically the bottom amount that we give out, and the maximum is full tuition and fees. Throughout the ROTC experience, there are numerous other scholarships that come down for Air Force ROTC cadets, and the cadre put together our applications with the cadets or on the behalf of the cadets, and we typically award upwards of $70,000 to $80,000 a year across the entire cadet wing in different forms and types of scholarships. So once you're contracted, you're entitled to a stipend. Contracted means you've earned an enrollment allocation, which is done towards the end of your sophomore year. You go to field training. You successfully completed field training, which is 19 days in Alabama, and you come back for your junior year. That's when you start to earn a stipend. And the stipend for juniors is it 400?
450.
450. Okay, 450 a month. And you also earn a bit of a book allowance, which is $1,000 a year. So you get about 500 a semester. So you do get a small amount of money to offset the cost of living. And you also earn what's called the Charles McGee Leadership Award, which is a scholarship. All of our field training graduates up to this point, and all scholarships are subject to change on any given day, and they do, unfortunately. But right now, once you've completed field training, you'll earn $18,000 a year for 2 years, and that'll offset the cost of your education as well. So
For parents coming to 0 Week, family members, please get separate accommodations. We have a very good relationship with our housing office on campus, and our early move-in is provided to us as a privilege. They do a lot of work getting those dorms really nice and clean for everybody to move in. And we want to be respectful of your non-ROTC roommates who will be moving in. We want those dorms to be just as clean. So please don't count on having family members stay with you in your dorm. That is a privilege extended to incoming ROTC cadets, and we don't want to abuse that privilege. So
perfect. So next question is there any specifics they need to know about the polo or the trouser requirements for the uniform? So the DET polos will be for sale when you arrive your first day here on that Sunday. So be prepared to pick those up. We also have a hat that's part of the uniform, and they're very affordable, and you'll wear them throughout your ROTC experience, and then they're pretty nice. We just ordered some new ones, and hopefully we have them in time. So as far as the pants go, the trousers, I've authorized the wear of cargo pants, so you can get some like 511 type pants to wear to lead lab when we're out in the woods doing some stuff out in the dirt. But I also recommend you buy a nice pair of brown dress slacks for when we're doing open ranks and more formal events with khakis. Thanks. Yeah, khakis. So no pockets on those except for the normal pockets, no cargo pockets. So two pairs would probably be useful. That would be my recommendation. One utility, sort of functional. The other one, more formal, more dressing. So khakis.
And the cargos do have to be khaki in color.
They do. Yeah. Yep. Good call. Black belt and black shoes as well. Yes.
Black socks.
And black socks. Yep. You got it. So, and we're going to issue name tags. They make some name tags for all the freshmen as well for the DET polos. So you'll get those at some point shortly after arriving. Once we know you're going to stick around. So, and most of our students do, but some decide after some period of time that it's not a good fit for them, or they just decide that they can't get there from here. So, but we certainly are hoping to ensure that you'll be successful in your experience, and that's one of the baselines as to how we design 0 Week is to make it useful so that you understand kind of what's going to happen, reduce some of the pressure throughout the semester, like the Air Force Officers Qualifying Test, get that off the plate right out the gate, and then set you up for success for the rest of the year. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, let's knock out some PFA questions. So the PFA is the physical fitness assessment. Every cadet at Detachment 028 takes an official PFA at least once per semester, and then we have a lot of unofficial or diagnostic PFAs, for example, at physical training sessions spread throughout the semester. So that one official one is what gets entered into we call it a cadet surf. It's essentially like a cadet score report. And then that's the important one. And then there will also be a lot of other ones conducted. So you'll know at any given point where you stand on the FA to within a reasonable degree. You should be running already. Prescott, Arizona sits at an altitude, but we're not high enough to qualify for the altitude adjustment that's given to, for example, the United States Air Force Academy. We've asked before, we are too low. So we will be using the normal scorecard. We're also aware that there are alternate exercises like shuttle runs, hand release push-ups. We will be doing the 1.5 mile run, the 1 minute of push-ups, and the 1 minute of sit-ups, period. So don't plan on doing any alternates. Practice for 1.5 mile run, 1 minute push-ups, 1 minute sit-ups. Like I said, Arizona is at altitude, so don't anticipate that if you perform well at sea level, you'll perform at exactly that level once you get here. Just shoot high, aim high, and if you miss, then you'll miss low. You should be running a lot. The most important thing really you can do is run. If you do a bunch of push-ups every day, you do a bunch of sit-ups every day, that's great. It won't necessarily help you on your run. But if you run every day, then that will help you on your push-ups and sit-ups, believe it or not. The run is 60% of the scoring. The run is 60 points, sit-ups are 20 points, and push-ups are 20 points. So if you do well, knock anything out of the park, knock the run out of the park. So to answer the question we got, yes, there will be cadre proctoring PFAs. You'll have plenty of official PFAs. What does a proper push-up depth look like?
You want to demonstrate?
I
don't know how you can do that. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, so
there you go.
So pretend I'm in a plank position here. All right, your back's got to be straight. So no arches one way or the other. And then just there.
90 degrees.
That's a little deep, but
Yep.
yeah. 90 degrees on the inside bend of your elbow. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, 90 degrees.
And that's one.
Yes, and that's what. So, and
Yeah.
then all the way up, lock your elbows out. And then we'll have proctors who will be correcting you if you're going too low or if you're not going high enough.
Yeah.
The full instructions for the PFA are given to you every single time you take the PFA, regardless of whether or not you're a 100 or an 800. So they will go over the entire time. Here's what you do. Here's what you don't do. They'll do the same thing for the sit-ups. There's lots of stipulations. You can't like hang onto your shirt. Sit-ups is from your back and then elbows or fingers on your clavicles essentially, and then elbows to your knees.
Not
So
to your
your-
knees. Anywhere on
Or
your
to your
thigh.
thighs. Sorry.
Yep.
So it's a little bit.
Some of your thigh, and that'll still count as a crunch. It's more of a crunch than a sit-up. So
It's a little bit shallower than you'd think. But if you want to train chest to knees,
True.
and then that way you'll do much better on the PFA.
So yeah, I'm going to introduce my superintendent, Master Sergeant Josh Edwards, for this next question. The question is, what does success look like for cadets in their first semester, and what are some common mistakes new cadets make early on? He was one of our AS 100 professors last year, so he had an opportunity to see successful cadets as well as some of those mistakes. So, Sergeant Edwards, over to you.
Good afternoon, I'm Sergeant Edwards. So a lot of the things I saw freshmen struggle with, the ones that did struggle, was time management. I said, the ones that lived and died by a schedule seem to have much more success than the cadets that showed up here kind of winging it through their schedule. They had blocked off study time for each class. So each class has office hours, particularly our class, where students got together if they were struggling with the material. The ones that put the extra effort into the stuff they were struggling with fared a lot better than ones who did not. Campus Solutions. So there's a schedule in there. The students that use that had much higher success rates than ones that did not, and did not use some sort of schedule. I mean, there's a lot of them. It could be a Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Canvas Calendar, Campus Solutions, some sort of rigid schedule like that. I saw people that struggle with fitness. If they didn't come up with a rigid fitness plan, the same with the ones that struggled with academics. If they didn't have a rigid academic plan, they struggled. So fitness, you show up, you don't pass your initial PFA, that is okay. You had time to improve yourself. But if you do not come up with a fitness plan, you're probably not going to see the improvements you desire. Myself, much more so Major Acosta, Major Connor. There's many cadre here that can help with fitness plans. The people that came to us and asked for help and implemented it saw big improvements. So we're here for that sort of thing as much as we are for mentoring and helping out with our course material. So,
Perfect. Great.
all right.
Thanks, Sergeant Edwards. Appreciate
Thank you.
that. What separates a good cadet from a great cadet? Or really kind of what are the keys to success in this program? I'm going to be very clear on this. It's simple, right? It's a simple equation. You believe the number one priority, which is academics, and then you work towards having a strong academic record. That means that you develop rapport with your professors. All of the professors at this university want to see you succeed. It's a small university. The class ratios are pretty small because of that. They're going to get to know you, and they're going to really care a lot about your academic performance as long as you care a lot about it as well. So if you're finding that you're struggling in a class or you're getting behind, go to office hours. Go talk to your professors. Some of you are going to take some tough classes. We got a lot of engineers. Half of our cadets are studying engineering, aerospace, aeronautical, mechanical, electrical, computer. A lot of very, very difficult courses associated with those majors. Make sure you go to office hours. Make sure you communicate with your professor early if you find that you're slipping behind. If you come to them at the end of the semester as you're failing, they can't do much for you. So talk to them early, and also talk to us. We can advocate for you. We can help you. We can do different things to help to get you back on track academically. So that's one of the keys to success in this program. The other one is fitness, as you've heard us talk about over and over again. That one is the most controllable, in my opinion, because you can wake up in the morning and knock out a minute's worth of push-ups and sit-ups and improve your push-up and sit-up score over the course of a semester significantly by doing those very small workouts. Take time to run. Make healthy choices. Not everybody comes here in shape. Not everybody comes here in the weight that they need to be. But they get there if they're fully committed. We've had cadets lose over 100 pounds from when they arrived to when we made them officers in the U.S. Space Force. That happened recently. And that cadet is a success story because of that. He's going on, he's doing great things right now. So if you fully commit, you'll get to where you want to be. So academics, physical fitness, then attitude. Come here with an attitude to be participative, to learn, to make new friends, and really to stretch yourself out as a person, right? What that'll do is that'll make you a better leader. And of course, the thing that we produce in this program are leaders of airmen and Space Force officers. And those leadership characteristics are developed over time. We can teach you how to be a leader, but you have to be open to learn. Leadership isn't an innate born capability. It's something that most develop over time and through experience. So positive attitude, work hard on your academics, focus on your fitness, and then get involved. That's the last piece, right? There's a lot of stuff going on here, and Cadet Oliver will kind of speak to some of those fun opportunities here. But you get out of it what you put into it. If you bare minimum stuff, you show up to classes, you go to PT, we don't see you ever. You just decide not to go to any of the fun events. You're probably not going to enjoy it very often, and you're not going to get to know the people in the detachment that is going to kind of be your support group as you go through this university experience. So get involved. Get involved in the student organizations that we've talked about. Get involved in the RTC activities, things like movie night and dining ins, dining outs. There's a bunch of fun stuff that we do. And Cadet Oliver, why don't you kind of highlight what we're going to do this semester? You tracking all the different events that we got going on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go for it.
One of, in my opinion, the most fun events we have during the fall semester is the combat dining in. So that happens in, I believe, November.
Yeah, I think it's November. Yeah, November 8th.
November 8th. So that's a pretty fun opportunity. We all get to mix and match some uniforms, dress a little.
Yeah, Nerf.
Yeah, less
Nerf.
military. We have a Nerf war going on. So the cadre are all at a big table at the front. There's Nerf bullets flying the entire time. There's also the grog, which you'll find out about later. The grog is a lot of fun.
Unless you have to drink it, then it's not as fun.
I would know. I've had to
Yeah,
drink.
you guys sampled the grog a few times, didn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I've sampled.
You were the
grog.
master of ceremonies last time.
I was.
So you're an easy target. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember. So
I was the first taste of the grog, and
That's
it
right.
was
That's right.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Then I watered it down after that, made it a little better, right?
Yes, sir, you did. Only me and Cadet Bethany had that
That's
original.
true. That's true. Lucky you.
So there are a ton of fun events that happen. We have Battle of Arizona
Oh yeah.
coming up. So
That's right.
there are 4 Air Force RTC detachments in Arizona. There's us, Northern Arizona University, University of Arizona, and of course Arizona State. Every year we have a competition in the fall called Battle of Arizona. It's a week-long competition that includes like flag football, ultimate frisbee, war games, a warrior challenge, which is rucking, that sort of thing. And it's just a way to come together as a state and meet cadets from other detachments. It's a lot of fun. And something that I see and that we all see is that cadets who get involved in these programs are wildly more successful than the cadets who don't. If you get involved, you go to the official events like Dining Out in Boaz or unofficial stuff. For example, we have a couple of detachment intramural teams that play like softball. If you guys want to pop out to that in the fall. If you get involved and you spend time with your wingman outside of official events, you're going to do much better in this program than, for example, if you don't. A lot of this program is a social game. You get to meet some really cool people, people from diverse and really cool backgrounds, and it'll make you a more well-rounded person, a more well-rounded cadet, and ultimately better equip you for success. So
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. So there's a lot going on. We also have a base visit to Luke Air Force Base early on in the semester. We're hosting something called Swarm, Southwest Region Raiders and Drill Meet. It's the first time we've done this. We're going to be bringing together hundreds of junior ROTC and ROTC cadets on the 20th of September to compete in spinning rifles, color guard ceremonies, as well as feats of physical strength and special warfare-oriented activities. So we're hosting it. It's going to be first ever type of event for us, but it'll be a lot of fun participating in that or helping with it. We have another base visit to Vandenberg Air Force Base in November. There's just a lot going on, right? So I encourage you to get involved and have fun with it, but always put your academics first, right? Don't sacrifice your academics for your Air Force RTC experience, because your RTC experience will come to an end and you'll be unhappy with where you're at in your college experience. So one is a prerequisite for the other. So does the Air Force still offer student loan forgiveness post-graduation? There is a student loan forgiveness program with the federal government. If you serve your country in some capacity for 10 years, your student loan will be forgiven, and serving in the military counts. So that means after 10 years, if you still have a student loan and you've certified your service for that 10 years of active duty service, whatever is remaining will be forgiven. So I've seen that used once or twice pretty effectively, but there's no student loan forgiveness post-graduation. That's not really a thing, unfortunately. So yeah, we have students here that go through all 5 years, not on an Air Force scholarship, but leave student loan free because they apply for the myriad of other scholarships are available to students studying different majors based on their academic credentials, and a lot of them work part-time. I'd say probably half of our cadets work a part-time job, maybe more, maybe 70%.
And we have a lot of cadets that work part-time jobs.
There's jobs on campus. There's jobs off campus. He's a hiring authority for a pizza place, I hear. So there's definitely ways to kind of manage that, and you can work a part-time job and be a part of the university and Air Force ROTC. It's a challenge. It's not easy, but it's certainly possible. So.
All right. The key thing, if you're having issues with your classes, is to talk to your academic advisor, which should be assigned to you. If just understand that they're also dealing with probably over 1,000 other students, and there's limited academic advisors. So they may take some time to respond to you right now. But at the end of the day, you need to work with your academic advisor to get signed up for the appropriate classes. They're not going to let you sign up for in excess of 18 credits per semester without some other approval, because there's certain things that come into effect, but they would be the best ones to explain that to you. So your academic advisor, speak with them, get an appointment with them. Earlier, the better.
Awesome. I'm gonna introduce my director of staff, Lieutenant Colonel North, for this next question. So the question I'll ask him is, how do you want to see cadets grow from their freshman year to when we commission them 4 or 5 years later? He's a product of Air Force ROTC. He's new to the detachment. He's been here now for about 2 months, but he certainly has been in the Air Force for a long time, and he certainly made it through ROTC many years ago. So question is, how do you want to see cadets grow from their freshman year to becoming officers in the Air Force?
Yeah, thanks, sir. I'm Lieutenant Colonel North, and like Colonel said, a product of ROTC at University of Illinois. What I saw there, my experience, and what I look forward to here is going to be development. So both personal strength, confidence, determination, and leadership. Ultimately, the program is to prepare you to be a leader in the Air Force or the Space Force. So those are some of the key things that I would look for that developing. Confidence is very important. Personally, I think there's a huge difference between confidence and cockiness. So understanding that balance is really important before we go and put you in either multi-million-dollar aircraft, in charge of billion-dollar orbital systems, or really in charge of our most important assets, our people. So those are the things that I would think about primarily.
Awesome. Thanks, Sor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be wearing dress blues or just OCP. So for the freshmen, you'll be wearing polo and khakis or cargo pants that are khaki colored. That's going to be your uniform of the day. If you join the Honor Corps, you get to wear dress blues. That's one of the benefits to joining the Honor Corps. You get to wear the service dress uniform early, much earlier than most. The way the uniforms will be issued here is you're going to arrive. We're going to give you a set of shorts and a t-shirt that you're going to be expected to wear during your fitness events during 0 week, and then for the remainder of that semester until you pass the Air Force physical fitness test. Once you've passed that, we're going to issue you some Air Force physical training gear, and then you'll be able to wear that for the remainder of your time in the program during PT and other PT type events. We will give you a second set of the shorts and the t-shirt. It's not the Air Force PT gear. It's kind of just a temporary uniform for you when you come back the second week, which is really the first week of classes. So you have 2 sets of that uniform. You'll make it through your freshman year. You'll come back. You'll commit to a second year in Air Force ROTC. And at that point, once you've demonstrated that commitment and that potential, we will issue you your OCP uniform. And that's this uniform right here. So you'll make it through your sophomore year. You go to field training. And once you've made it through field training, then we'll issue you your blues uniform. And that'll be your junior year. So after your junior year, you'll have all the uniforms with the exception of after you get your job. So you'll be competing for an Air Force job, typically at the end of your junior year, maybe the beginning of your senior year. If you happen to get a job that deals with flight operations or nuclear operations, we'll issue you a flight suit as well. So that'll be the last uniform that you'll be issued if you happen to get one of those jobs. So
a campus map will be sent out prior to your arrival. We'll also have cadets all over campus with road signs who will be directing traffic, and then if you're walking around campus. So we will handle all of your navigation around campus upon your arrival. The main important thing is that we will send out a map of campus, which will have big arrows pointing for you to go. And then once you get to campus, our volunteers will tell you where to report in for check-in.
What would you recommend for cadets who are doing sport here at the same time? So that's an additional challenge. And I certainly give a lot of grace to our student athletes to make sure that they can be successful in both programs. Just make sure that we're aware that you're participating in one of the college athletic teams. And there'll be times when you can't be at class or at lead lab or even at PT, theoretically, typically not PT, because you don't generally practice that early in the morning. Just make sure you're coordinating with your professor and also the commandant cadets, so we can know where you're at to make sure that you're doing your best to try to manage both. So I do give some consideration to student athletes when it comes to their order of merit, because frankly, you have less time to do ROTC stuff because you're doing student athletics. So absolutely have had some success stories with student athletes earning their way through the program. We have one that was a nationally ranked cross country runner. She's a pilot in the Air Force now. And we have others that are currently on the baseball team. I think we have any other student cross country. We have a cross country runner or two. So yep, for sure. So definitely a way to do that. So let me just end with a couple of words of support. So I'm really excited to meet everybody. It's going to be a great year for you. I know you're probably a little nervous about going to college and getting into this experience of Air Force ROTC. Just rest assured that the climate of this detachment is not one to where we do any maltreatment, any hazing, anything to make you feel that. We treat people with dignity and respect. And that is the touchstone for Detachment 028, both from a cadre perspective as well as a cadet wing perspective. We mutually support one another because we want to see you be successful. You have to do your part. You have to make sure you're managing time, that you're getting a good fitness regime, you're focusing on your academics, and you're taking the opportunities when they present themselves. But you're going to find this is a very, very positive experience. ROTC is, I would characterize it as the largest and probably most productive student organization on campus, in that we are unique. 10% of the student body is a part of this organization. You're going to see uniforms all around campus on any given day. And that connects you with a large group of fellow students. And that connection gives you advantages, gives you tips and tricks to success. It gives you a support unit that just doesn't exist in other campuses. The fact that this is a small campus is extremely important as well. University of Arizona, Arizona State University, rather, in Phoenix, about 75,000 students. Their cadet wing has about 215, 220 cadets. So they're a fraction of their student body. Here we're 10%. And because of that, the university gives us a great deal of support. And the professors, the different departments of colleges do what they can to help you to be successful, to achieve your dreams, to eventually commission into the United States Air Force and do whatever it is you want to do. So my team and I are excited to meet everybody. We're very close to the beginning of the semester. Just come with a positive attitude and make sure you're developing those positive, good time management habits now. So do you have anything else you want to close with, Oliver?
I'm really excited to kick 0 week off for you guys. Me and my team have been working really hard this summer, cooking together a really nice, productive, exciting 0 week. I'm honestly jealous of you guys. I love this program. I love this school. And 4 years ago, I was you. So maybe 4 years from now, you'll be me planning your own 0 week. We're just really excited to have everyone. And I hope you guys are just as excited as we are.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. And again, look forward to seeing you in the next 4 weeks. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to reach out to the 0 week team via email. They're very much on the spot answering those questions. And again, look forward to seeing you. Have a great day.
All right.